After emerging as the victor of the FPL in August of 2020, Spinx was quickly snapped up by Contact, who gave the Israeli a trial in their young team. Fast forward 5 months and Spinx is brought into the new look ence lineup, who believe they found a diamond in the rough. Turns out, they were right. Spinx has shone as a member of the primarily EU mixed team, putting up great numbers as ence shocked many Tier 1 teams at ESL Pro League 13. The future is hard to predict, but from what I've seen, he'll be surprising many elite teams for many years to come. I'm T, he is Spinx, and this is Prospects. Spinx's aim is what you'd expect from someone who was recruited from the FPL circuit. He's crisp, he's clean, and he's deadly. He picks up many kills with pistols, not just on pistol rounds, but also with the deagle on half-buys and forces. Spinx complements his aim with nice burst firing, keeping a tight grouping on his first 4 to 5 bullets to convert his kills quickly and efficiently. This, of course, makes him lethal with rifles, especially the AK. As if that wasn't enough, Spinx has solid playmaking instincts, using audio cues and other reads to make plays in the mid to late rounds. I was also impressed with his overall timing and spacing, almost always coming through at the right time to find trades. Spinx was recruited into ence to be the CT anchor, playing alone or with minimal support in bomb sites. He holds B on Dust 2, A on Nuke, and plays A on Overpass. The closest thing to an exception to this rule is Inferno, as he plays B but is not as lonesome as on other maps. On Inferno, Spinx plays alongside Snappy. It's not surprising to see these two pairing up to hold bomb sites together, as they were both playing for Contact prior to ence picking them up. Snappy is also often playing near his young star on other maps, Round 9 on Dust 2 being a great example of the two working together on the B site. On Overpass, Spinx does what almost all anchors end up doing, and plays alongside his AWPer in and around toilets for extended periods of time. This role isn't typically the most impactful in terms of multi-kills, but Spinx still manages to make some magic happen, like against Skade on Round 8, obliterating the long push. These bomb site lockdowns are a key part of Spinx's CT play, as his aim and burst grouping allows him to take down multiple opponents in quick succession. G2 fell victim to this in back-to-back rounds when they failed to eliminate Spinx's positions, ultimately costing them the nuke game altogether. Spinx's role on the CT side isn't all sitting back and having a cup of tea though. He does throw in some aggression when the moment, or more likely his IGL, calls for it. On Overpass he'll aggress with Alu into mid occasionally, here converting Alu's leg shot into a frag. Spinx can also be vital in Banana, using his aggression to find information when the kills aren't presented. He does get a double kill later in this round, but the early information is what allowed ence to have a perfect read on the situation. Being the anchor also allows Spinx to occasionally show off his clutching skills. On Nuke against G2 he wins quite a cheeky 1v2, picking up one kill then pulling off the full 10-second defuse. He also kills the last remaining T post-defuse for good measure. More typically, Spinx is retaking the site with his team rather than just clutching. On retakes we start to see what makes Spinx so good on the T side, as he does a great job of timing his advances into the bomb site with his team, and getting the necessary frags. Spinx's T side looks in some ways a little like Mezzi's, and actually a little like Neo frags. He lurks, holding parts of the map for CT aggression, and rarely being the initial aggressor. However, when the team executes, he's the 3rd or 4th man in, trading the entry fraggers and finding huge amounts of impact. The majority of his rounds are spent holding positions, lurking in connector on Overpass, holding lobby on Nuke, playing in second mid on Inferno, and upper tunnels on Dust 2. That being said, you cannot play on a Snappy-led team without being involved in some kind of ultra-aggressive play at some point on the T side. Dust 2 is a heavily spawn-based map, so when Spinx is the spawn for quick long control, he'll throw himself out to try and find an opening kill, which he manages on round 23 against Double Pony. On Nuke, Snappy loves to throw Spinx into the vents to find info and lurk around the B site. It doesn't typically result in many kills, but it's a useful info play that creates many lurking opportunities for Spinx. Inferno is Spinx's most aggressive T-side map that I've seen, mostly thanks to the large number of apps pops that Snappy calls for. What's more common than Spinx entering though is him trading or lurking, of which there are many great examples to point to. Overpass Pistol sees him get a great triple, picking up 2 trade kills, then the third, winning the round for ence. Round 24 of Dust 2, Spinx finds a great double kill on this B exec, trading effectively and putting his team in a great position to win the round. On the final round of the T half on Nuke, he looks for an aggressing CT at ramp and catches him, then trades his teammate on the A site. One of my favourite Spinx T rounds is on round 25 on Inferno against Endpoint, where Spinx makes the most of the space forfeited by the opposing AWPer, wrapping Arch and finding 2. He then baits the AWP to peek into him with a fake reload and makes it a crucial triple kill. This is the kind of playmaking I was hyping up in the intro, where Spinx is able to produce impact without being the initiator, as so many of the big impact players in this game are. Spinx has HLTV Top 20 written all over his demos. He has great aim, good game sense, and fits in well to any top level team. If ence keep their roster stable from now on, maybe make this Hades guy a permanent signing. Big fan of that player if you haven't noticed. Watch the video. They could continue to develop and quickly become a top 15 team. They're already skilled enough to compete against less structured teams like G2, and I'm a big believer in Snappy's ability to mould this team into a legitimate contender. Spinx himself is crucial to this process, as his fragging ability will be called upon when facing elite teams like the Gambits and Heroics of the world. The biggest thing that Spinx has left to improve is his spray control, as it does get away from him every now and then, but really his mechanics are one of his biggest strengths, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Spinx will be fragging out for years to come, and I hope to watch every headshot and every multi-kill. Okay, those are my thoughts on Spinx, the demos I watched, and the things I gathered from them. Please leave a comment telling me your thoughts on Spinx. Have you been as impressed as I have by his time in ence so far? If you want to see more prospects, leave a like. Follow me on Twitter. I have polls there where I decide who the next player is going to be, so if you want to play a part in that decision-making process, follow me over there. Sub if you want to see more videos. And that's all for this one. Goodbye.